So let me go ahead and read your affirmations. And the King of Swords is very interesting with the Know Your Fear card because I mean, it know your fear obviously means to know them, accept them, and defeat them. Conquer them. Don't let them conquer you. And the King of Swords, he don't let nothing conquer him. Not fears, not nothing. And I do feel like for a lot of you guys are having to, conquer a lot of your fears, conquer a lot of those things that make you uncomfortable. And I think that's why the tower is there. It's not necessarily that something unexpected happened that brought you two together, which could be, but I think it's a lot of taking action and just making things come about, making things happen that will brought you two together. And now the overcoming of the reason why you're clinging on to a comfort zone. That's the next challenge. But let's go ahead and read the affirmation before we get started. Know your fears. You have fears, both big and small. Some fear is felt for good reason. It serves to remind you to be cautious, not to take foolish and dangerous risks. Other fears you feel are but shadows that you have made real and given substance. They serve only to make you doubt yourself, to question your good judgment, to fear success, to restrict and to limit. The Four of Pentacles. Look within, know your fears, shine a light upon them, and see them for the shadows and mists that they are. And it's cool that it's a lion, or it's a tiger. I like that. So it's time to roar at those fears. Am I right, family? So going into this relationship, this is how I typically read my readings, soulmate readings, soulmate investigation readings, which you can get on your, get personally on Instago from me. I have and the offering of this. This is me showing you guys how I do my thing. But this is you guys typically on this side here, but you are allowed to definitely go on this side if this side doesn't resonate, okay? So, yeah. Alright, anyway. So, going into the relationship, Capricorn, you guys have justice. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're either forgiving or looking for forgiveness in this relationship. Some of you guys, you may be looking to just balance the scales, getting things back on track, re-establishing the dynamic, because I think some things are just kind of out of whack with the relationship. But that's okay, because I think you guys are working hard to make things, to straighten some things out. Now the other person is the Eight of Pentacles. And I don't know if they're really looking at the relationship. Either if they are looking at the relationship, they're seeing it as dedicated hard work, something that they're focusing on, something that definitely needs to improve, and they're working hard to improve it. On the other side, they may not be looking at the relationship at all. They could be just looking at work in general, like focusing on something entirely different. And it makes sense because what they are displaying in their body is the Eight of Swords. Like, they don't have a clue what to do. They look like they're kind of stuck. They're kind of trapped in their thoughts. And it looks like they're trying to work things out, work things through, trying to work on a conclusion, or they're really focused on some sort of task in their mind. And it kind of looks like they're kind of trapped in their thoughts right now because everything is they're kind of busy. They're kind of focused on, doing whatever they need to do. But at the same time, they don't look very busy at the same time, right? They look like they're just kind of sitting there stuck. But at the same time, I don't think they're distraught or just or stuck about this relationship. How it kind of comes into this is like they're kind of looking at finding a solution. They're trying to expand their information or expand, focus on finding some sort of resolve for this. But the Eight of Swords is like they're coming up short with it. Like they kind of just don't understand. And for the Four of Pentacles, it kind of makes me feel like that's the reasons why they can't let go, or the reason why they feel kind of stuck where they are, is because they can't figure out what to do, what's going on. Because I think everybody can see that they're just kind of like, what is going on? What's happening? Right? The King of Swords knows their truth and all this, and for both of you guys, when it comes to truth and everything and clarity, this person is definitely struggling in that arena when it comes to the clarity portion. And you guys are coming up as the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands is not a bad card here. All right, I like this here. It's almost like you guys are putting in the work that's necessary, but waiting for your ships to come in. But it's like, but that's the thing. What are you guys waiting for, right? You're waiting for something to return, you're waiting for something to come in. And you know what to expect. But this person here is stuck in their head. Now it could be that you are expecting this person to come out of their, come to the senses, or maybe, find whatever they need to find to break free from their mental cage, the mental prison that they've put themselves in, or this could be like the other person. If you just resonate with this is someone else expecting you to break free of your mental cage. But there's just someone that's building some sort of fortress here. Usually the Eight of Pentacles talks about building of a foundation. And I feel like somebody wants to build and focus on putting work in a foundation, putting work into it. I think someone feels like there's going to be work that's going to be put into it. And the Eight of Swords, to me, this someone looks like they're kind of walking around seeing like, seeming like this relationship is impossible to happen. Like it's not going to happen. Like it's just like this person just will not see the tower coming. If this is what brought you two together, they didn't see it coming, so they're completely distraught. They have no idea, right? And then I think this is something you've been expecting and waiting for it to happen for a long time, and you take advantage of the opportunity. Some of you guys could have had this situation, whatever it is, this opportunity come back to you already, and you're making it happen. But the reason why this person's got the Eight of Swords here is because there is some sort of denial. And then we go from 8 to 7. So we already dropped down 1. And it's denial of a certain perspective, I feel. I feel like, too, it's not like they're lying to you or lying to it could be, I don't know if it's they're lying to themselves. I don't know if they just truly are ignoring a situation. That's why I'm saying I don't know if this person's seeing this relationship as work. I feel like they're focusing on work and they're distracting themselves and therefore denying themselves of actually seeing what's actually happening around them. Because it looks like they're focusing on work and they're not thinking about the relationship, which is why you have the Seven of Swords as the foundation. They're distracting themselves, or they're escaping, they're avoiding, they're not looking at the situation straight ahead. But then it comes back to you, right? The Ace of Cups, new love for you. And what you guys are, the reason why you guys are, coming into this either with an apology to straighten things out, or to seek out an apology. But you know what to expect with this because you're starting a new love. This is a new beginning for you guys. I feel like this is not necessarily, you're trying to make amends so you can have a new, right? And I think you guys are perhaps waiting for those things to balance out. So that's very interesting, right? Because you guys want to start a brand new beginning, but how you guys are going about doing it is either very patiently or waiting for something that that you've been trying to manifest. But what brought you two together is the tower. You didn't expect it to happen. It just kind of was a spark of lightning. Could have been like a spark that just kind of knocked you guys both off your feet. Obviously, right? With people falling away from the tower. But the Four of Pentacles is what's the challenge, and the challenge is breaking free from your comfort zones. Holding on to the foundation that's not really stable, right? Not really, cemented to the ground, not founded to the ground really well, right? Hopefully that's the right word I'm using. And I feel like, even though you see this as an opportunity and you're waiting to, either this is you guys expecting marriage as well. Like this doesn't have to be an apology. This could be you guys expecting to, to move up in the relationship. Well, the other person is like shitting it. Like they're just freaking out. That's what it looks like. They're like, okay, I'm just going to focus on work. I'm just going to focus on work. I'm going to focus on the practical. I'm going to do this and this because me being in a relationship is scary. That's what it looks like. They know what's going to happen, or they already have it happen to them, and they just still don't know what to do. They still feel a little bit paralyzed, a little bit trapped. And it's because they're fight or flight. Look at underneath that, sun. Clarity. Capricorns, who are you dealing with? So let's go ahead and see what you guys got for your whispers of love. They are avoiding it like nobody's business. That's why I was saying, like, I don't know if this person's really seeing this relationship as work. But the Eight of Swords is like totally not seeing the situation clearly. They're in their own head. They're feeling trapped. And it may be because of some sort of, either somebody left, maybe the Seven of Swords is somebody that's ghosted. Maybe there's someone that doesn't want to believe it because maybe they've been left behind before. And coming out of the comfort zone is very hard because it requires trust. And the King of Swords has trust issues. Just saying. All right, let's see what we got. Love endures. Love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. That is one hell of a message to get for this, because like I was saying, love endures and love does not lose faith. And I feel like this person is like on the verge of losing faith, but it's like they haven't completely, because there's still something that's keeping them there. The Four of Pentacles. They still have hope. Like, as much as they would like to act like they don't, they do. And it's like, and I could be completely wrong, but I feel like with this person, like, not sure, being sure of what to do, the Eight of Swords, or like feeling stuck in your thoughts, is because there's conflicting stuff that's going on in their mind. Right? They could just say, all right, forget it, and I'm not dealing with this other person again. I'm not going to be in a relationship ever again. But there's just something there, the sun, that the potential for happiness, that's still like fighting with the King of Swords. Like, that's like, yeah, that, yeah, you can be stubborn all day and all night. You can have your own perspective all day and all night too. But the fact of the matter is that you know that there's a path to happiness and you're refusing to accept it. And that's what it looks like here. Someone's choosing to ignore the happiness. Now, sometimes it may not be that. Maybe they just truly don't see it, right? Maybe they just don't see that there's potential happiness, even though it's straight there in their face. And it makes sense, right? The blindfold is there, and they're listening to their mind. Right? Their mind is, they're trapped in their thoughts. Or maybe they just don't know how to get there. But the advice is, and the challenge is, breaking free from the comfort zone. And it's overcoming the fears. It's not letting the fears dictate where you go and what you expand, and starting from scratch and completely dismantling this faulty foundation that never really had you stable in the first place. It's just continuously making you anxious, and it's causing you to deflect. It's you or the other person. It doesn't matter. But I feel like ultimately, though, this whole situation is about overcoming fears. And I feel like you guys are definitely looking to do that. Being in a relationship is even a scary task. But I feel like you guys are making it happen. But the challenge is breaking free from your comfort zone, which was probably waiting for something to happen when you just need to just make it happen. Right? The Three of Wands is never really a bad card, but what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? And it's like, you're never going to have a good time to do it. Just make it happen. Because if you're always waiting for the best time to do it, then you're never going to have the best time. Because you're going to be disappointed. Because nothing ever is happening at the best time. It just happens when you take action.